Episode 3 of She-Hulk released today, and we got a lot of cameos. But before we start this review, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. And first off, I think this is the weakest episode that we've gotten so far out of all three of them. And I'll go into that whilst we're doing this review. We start basically where we left off from last week, with Jennifer going to speak to the Abomination about the events that happened in Shang-Chi and him fighting Wong. With the Abomination saying that Wong broke him out of jail and that he was forced to go out. And then we get Wong. He turns up in another MCU project, and this time he's talking to Jennifer, explaining the Abomination was right and that he only broke him out so that he could train to be the Sorcerer Supreme. And when thinking about the MCU timeline, you have to remember that the events of She-Hulk are taking place when the events of Shang-Chi just happened, or just after. So that means this happened before Spider-Man No Way Home, and also before Doctor Strange The Multiverse of Madness, where in those movies he's already the Sorcerer Supreme. And my biggest issue with this, in terms of this episode, was the way that Emil Blonsky was portrayed, in a sense. As when we saw him in Hulk, he seemed like a completely different character to the way we're seeing him now. And you can also say, as they say in this episode, about how he's changed throughout, he's completely different to where he was at that point in Hulk. But also, he's a lot more comedical, and it doesn't really fit at all where we last saw him. So you can make it make sense in terms of him changing. However, I'm not connecting with that aspect of it so far. So let me know if that's been a problem for you as well. And at this time, we also have Abomination's parole court appearance. And due to the events that happen in Shang-Chi, they don't want to let him out. And however, Jennifer's trying to say that he's changed and that he was forced, and they want Wong as a witness to say, yes, I'm the reason he broke out. It was me that forced him to do it. And ends up getting out on parole. However, they still have reservations about when he turns into Abomination. It's not him that's in control. It's Abomination that takes over, not Emil Blonsky. And then whilst they're saying that Emil Blonsky turns back into Abomination and shows that he's in complete control over the Abomination and that he won't be a threat, and ends up getting parole. However, on the condition that he can't turn into Abomination at all whilst he's on parole, or he'll go back to prison. As I already said, my negatives with this main 0.9 of the episode. However, I do have some positives in it as well, and it's the fact that, well, the episodes feel very episodic, as it doesn't feel like a movie, which is a good thing, as that's been a problem with the Disney Plus show so far, and this show's continuing to change how they're doing the episodes, and I think it's better to have 9 episodes where they feel more episodic than have it feel as continuous as the other MCU Disney Plus projects have so far. And also, it very much is a lawyer show, as in both the main storyline, which we just went through with Wong and Abomination, and also with the B plotline, what I'm going to go through in a minute, it's very much a lawyer show, as Jennifer did say in that breaking of the fourth wall in the first episode, it's not going to be a superhero show, it's more of a lawyer show, and we're seeing that in a sense. And so far, it's been alright. I feel like it's going to have to shift to more into a superhero show, but for this episode, you can really see how it was more of a lawyer show that is a superhero than a superhero show where she is a lawyer. And then we have the B plotline with Dennis falling for the trick that the elf from New Asgard was Megan Thee Stallion, and they want She-Hulk to help them as well. And then we have them going to court with Dennis's side saying that she scammed him and that she took some of his money. However, the elf side saying that, well, it was a committed relationship and it just didn't work out. And this whole plot line didn't work for me at all. I wasn't really that intrigued in it, and I didn't really care for that plot line at all, really. And I guess it was just done for a bit of entertainment, as we had Megan Thee Stallion show up in the court, and we also had the Megan Thee Stallion cameo at the end. And overall, I don't think that plotline will lead to anything else further in the show, so that's why it feels a bit like a wasted opportunity. You could have done something to further it, as obviously we don't know at the moment if it does further anything throughout the show, but I doubt it does. And then we get to the end of the episode where Jennifer gets attacked and ends up being attacked by the Wrecking Crew. And whilst watching it thinking, oh yeah, this is actually the first bit of action we're seeing in this episode. And it gets played off with a good joke about Jennifer forgetting that she can turn into the She-Hulk and defeat them easily. But it's more interesting in terms of the villains and where it's setting up, as we know that they're the Wrecking Crew, and as one of them was named Thunderball, and we also know they're going to turn up in later episodes in the series as well. And it's interesting as they were looking to take some of her blood, and I'm guessing it's so that they can somehow see how she turned into the She-Hulk or something. However, they weren't able to do it while she was in a She-Hulk form, so I'll be interested to see where they develop that storyline and go in the future. And also how Daredevil ties into all of this as well. But as I said, it was a bit of a disappointing episode for me. I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought of the first 2 episodes. Hopefully the 4th one can be a lot better. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below.